Elves need no armor.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Esports Money's ESM Mac 10, whatever you want to call me, and today we're going to be going over some differences between the Radiant and Dire jungles. This isn't inherently a guide, but it will help you jungle pretty much any hero. And I've been getting a lot of people asking me if I could do some content on the Dire side, which I do plan on doing, but I am also primarily interested with making individual hero guides, since there are a lot of niche things that heroes can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on WTF, and I feel like I want some defensive items in case I just like play stupid. So buy me a blade mail. Can't buy a heart off the cuff.
Time to get angry with each other.
The arrow of war is loose.
Yeah, it's even medallion. Okay, so I have a lot of armor now, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So now I move pretty quickly, because I'm basically just going to use this to like move around the map to demonstrate all the things I'm trying to show off. So for this camp, cut down these 2 trees. You can cut down this 3rd one if you want to, but you don't have to. Really, this is the only tree you need to cut down. And again, if you've watched a lot of my guides, most of this will be a history lesson, but I am going to be going over the rest of the Radiant jungle and the Dire jungle. So now I can hit these guys with impunity, actually cut this tree down, and then come up here and cut this tree down and this tree down, and you can actually jungle from up here. And a lot of people do this. There's a handful of really prominent YouTubers that do this. I can't think of the names off the top of my head. And it's pretty efficient. Only problem is some heroes don't have this amount of attack range, and you can kind of use this choke or this jungling point for anyone, and you will not get hit if you do here. The only time you'll take damage if you are jungling from here is if you have the Satyr camp, and the range ones will hit you, which don't do much damage, and you can just right-click them down. Or if you have mud golems, and the golems split like right here because the aggro cooldown's reset, so the little ones will come up and hit you a couple times. They do like 9 damage, so it's not a big deal. So again, I'm going to be going over ranged and melee like as I do this. So these guys are ranged creeps, and so they can hit you from a distance away. You will take a little bit of damage, but again, you see I only got hit once right there, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to walk up and Iron Talon that guy, and then continue to right-click him. That's how I will clear this camp as a ranged hero that I'm jungling, or a ranged hero that I'm jungling other than like Chen or Enigma or Enchantress or some shit. So if you want to, if you're melee jungling this camp, you want to take down this white tree. That's your choke tree. Go ahead and pull these. It's hard to demonstrate because these guys are ranged and they're harder to kill, but now you can see the big troll is going to like just basically do laps while the little guy just lets me kill him. So that's basically how you can handle that camp. This camp, if you're jungling mostly between these 2 camps, then if you attack this camp at about 56, I've stacked before attacking at 56 or 57 with a Satyr camp, which are the slowest moving camps because those ranged Satyrs actually move a little bit slower than everything else, and they also have a ranged attack, so if they think they can attack you, they'll actually stop animation to attack. You can attack these guys and then just like roll over here. That's actually my preferred way to stack them. I don't often do it unless I'm jungling with these 2 camps, just because it's really convenient. So if you're going to choke point jungle this camp, typically go in, do that, and then this is the choke. This is like the best choke that you have for this camp. 57. I messed up that stack because these guys were walking around here, but it's actually pretty rare that that stack's messed up. This is a pretty easy stack to get. So, as you can see, he's blocked up, even with how far up he was. It's fine. So, set myself up. Because I don't know the god mode. I don't know many cheat codes off the top of my head. I don't use practice lobbies that much to test things, as much as I do like bot matches, because it's the jungle. I want it to be as realistic as possible, so I never had to learn to do that. With this camp, I'm going to go ahead and cut down this tree, and this tree for the melee small camps, which again are kind of few and far between. And most of the small camps actually have really long range, so they're not that great to cliff jungle against. One thing you can do though is attack them from the high ground, and this doesn't actually save you any damage, but if you're just trying to kill them off, like let's say we're about to be 3 minutes or 5 minutes, an odd number of minutes, it's really, really helpful because you don't waste time. So like over here, I could clear these 3 camps and be like, well, shoot, I have like 15-20 seconds until they respawn, I can walk over here, cut down this tree, and then cliff jungle these guys down. So even though they're ranged, I just take the damage and kill them quickly. It's about a time efficiency point at that point. If they're melee, I can come over here, chop down these 3 trees, and then just like cliff jungle them all day. I'll take a little bit of damage, but it's a small camp, who cares? So if you're gonna cliff jungle this camp's actually not really good for cliff jungling or choke pointing. It's very, very far away from everything that you want to be close to. So I guess I'll just hit this guy down. But I think these guys will hit me once, twice. Oh wow, 3 times, 4 times. That's actually never happened before. Like if the big one reaches you, he'll only hit you once and leave. Interesting. But again, the big one won't really get me. I was gonna see if I could kill it before the stack, but not really important. So that's pretty much it for the Radiant. Over here, if you get a melee camp down here, then you can actually cliff jungle it. So if you are a Medusa on the dire side, that might actually be a viable option. However, one thing I do want to stress is that the reason that cliff jungling isn't used very much anymore, even on like hard carries, is not because it's like they do more damage and it's just more dangerous to do. It's because of the fact that they're actually really, really hard to kill because the golems have so much health, and if you stack, which is what you're going to be doing, if you're only cliff jungling, you need to hit every single one of your stacks, and if you do that, then eventually, like, probability dictates you're going to get a golem at some point, and when you do, he's going to increase the maximum health of every camp there. Oh, I forgot I have WTF on, so this guy's just spamming his thing. That's really cool. That's funny. Okay. This camp right here, don't do that. I'm going to go ahead and click this so the bots don't come to me, is analogous to this camp with a little bit of a twist. So with this camp, you can actually cut down these 4 trees, and then you can cliff jungle, but I never do that because that's 4 times 3, so that, or it's 4 times 5, I think. Is that the total? It's about 4 times 5, so it's like 20 seconds. It's like somewhere between 16 and 20 seconds to cut down these trees. If you're talking about the cooldown of your Iron Talon, you don't have a Quelling Blade, which you won't have very often. You won't have both of those items together very often anymore because of the fact they don't stack passive. So it's going to take you quite a bit of time to cut all these down, and then you're cliff jungling one camp. So I usually stand right around here, so like do this, and then do that. Yeah, you're gonna take damage. It's not a great camp to jungle, but it's okay. This camp over here, you have the advantage of if you cut down this tree, they'll hit you a couple times. I think if you cut down this tree, you're good, but again, if you're hitting from this, if you haven't cut down this tree, you actually block the camp too. But if you cut down this tree and then this tree, you can cliff jungle all day. If you cut down this one, you're going to get hit a bit, but again, you're not getting hit very much. It's very efficient trading to the point where, with pretty much all of my jungles, I'm going to be focusing on this triangle of camps, and then moving over to these camps and this bounty rune once I'm killing things fast enough that I kill these guys just too quickly. And once I come over here, I'm not really worried about getting hit once or twice by these creeps. That being said, you can cliff this, and you cannot choke this. At least I haven't tried to. I don't believe you can actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you cannot choke this. You can choke this if you go from behind, but you'll get aggroed early on, so it's really messy and just not worth it. And you can cliff it anyway. So with this camp, I tested this earlier, but it really depends on the creeps that you get. So okay, so now you can see here only one's attacking me, the others have to do the lap around, so you can use this as a choke. So like cut down these 2 trees like right here, and you can use that as a choke. I'm not sure if it works with the big Ursa. I've tested it with this camp, and I've tested it with the oh, whoops, I forgot, there's not my team. So I've tested it with the big Ursa, and I've tested it with the trolls, and pretty sure centaur works, and I know the big satyr blocks the camp. This camp right here is like, it sucks. It's there's nothing much you can really do with this camp. You attack and you stand back here. You can kind of force a choke here. Like, you can use this tree as a choke. The problem is you have to run past the creeps, or you have to like squeeze yourself in there and like cut this tree down too and try not to like block this camp. But if you cut this tree down too, I think they might be able to get over here. I actually haven't tested this because this camp just sucks. Any camp where you have to cut the trees down behind the creeps to create a choke with no natural entrance to it from behind is just bad news for the hero that's jungling. So if you're starting to see a trend here, the dire side is not as good for jungling as the Radiant. However, that being said, this camp right here is one of the best camps for jungling in the entire game. Maybe the best camp. You just have to cut down these two trees. Literally just these two trees. And then you can stand behind it with pretty much any ranged hero. Maybe Huskar might have too short of range, but pretty much every other ranged hero, you just stand behind here and then just right-click. And just get levels. This camp, again, you can kind of force a choke, but it's not good. It's not great. This might work. No, this won't work. Too fat. So this camp's actually analogous to this camp, except without a cliff. So not a whole lot you can do there. Sorry. You may be able to cut down trees and cliff jungle it, like we used to cliff jungle the anti-mage over in this area, but like several patches ago. But I don't think it's possible. The dire jungle is significantly worse, especially for melee junglers. You really need to rely on this. The benefit of the dire jungle is you can actually jungle ancients, versus I'm pretty sure you can't actually jungle ancients here. Even if you use a ward, it's very, very, very difficult to jungle ancients here. That being said, I might have a guide up for it soon. So if you cut down these trees, then you actually also you have an additional awesome spot, and you may have to move around a bit, but again, you don't really care. You're taking like no damage.
Straight as an arrow.
Kiting is pretty efficient up here. So the dire jungle is like objectively worse. Like it's not like complete trash of use to no one, but especially if you're like a dubious melee jungler, it's worse. Like, because the only choke point camp you really have is this one. Actually, you may be able to create a pseudo choke right here. Like, there are a lot of places in the dire jungle where you can create chokes where only 2 units can attack you, but there aren't really any that you can create where only 1 attacks you, except for over here, and then yeah, I'm pretty sure you can make one out of this camp. But you're coming into the camp and creating a choke, so you have to do it before the creeps spawn, and you have to run around the creeps to get into position, so you take damage doing that, or you have to cut a boatload of trees down here, and again, we're talking like a 4 or 5. I believe it's 5, because 4 is the number I always see, but we're talking a several second cooldown on your Iron Talent to get there. So this is my guide to jungling on the Radiant versus the dire side. If you have some ability that lets you get up on a cliff, then you can actually turn this into something a little bit efficient. Maybe there's another place that this cliff you can make into something efficient. The only problem is, like, most heroes that have the ability to blink up on places, I'm thinking specifically anti-mage, like, are melee, so you'd have to cut down a boatload of trees to get the creeps close enough to you, and you have to aggro them at the start too. However, Queen of Pain could probably jungle. Queen of Pain might actually jungle more efficiently on the Dire than the Radiant, because she has this cliff, and because she has this cliff. I believe you can actually, yeah, you can. I know you can fit up there. So, thank you guys for watching. My name's Esports Monies, ESM, Mac10, whatever you want to call me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you didn't like this video, you know what to do, but if you did like this video, please hit that like button, please hit the subscribe button. There's a little bell icon next to the subscribe button. Hitting that really helps me out. It'll send you notifications when I make videos like this. Maybe you've requested a video like this. This video has been requested by at least 3 people I can think of off the top of my head. And you'll also get notifications for when I go live with my live stream. And I don't always stream Dota 2, but I know that's what you guys primarily want to see, so I do stream it more than I do most other games. But I am also pretty interested in, you know, virtual reality content. I have an Oculus DK2, and I play a bunch of other games like Dark Souls and stuff. So, again, thanks for watching, and catch you later. Peace.